There used to be this almost sacred ritual to building software.
Oh, absolutely.
You'd sit down, stare at a blank screen, watch that little blinking cursor, and you just knew that every single line of logic had to come from you.
Right, pulled straight out of your own brain.
Exactly. Every button on the screen, every database connection, you had to type it out by hand, character by character.
It was a very literal translation of human thought into machine syntax.
Yeah, it's tedious, sure.
Mm.
But it was a predictable physical reality. You were basically building a house brick by brick.
You really had to speak the machine's language fluently just to get it to say, hello world.
But if you step into literally any tech forum, right now Twitter, Reddit, Discord, that blinking cursor has turned into something else entirely.
It's a completely different paradigm now.
People aren't writing code. They're typing a single plain English sentence into a chat box, and like an entire application just materializes in seconds.
And it's triggering this massive industry-wide existential crisis.
Oh, big time. Okay, let's unpack this. Because on the surface, this narrative of just prompt your app into existence sounds like pure science fiction.
But the panic is palpable. I mean, you don't have to look hard to find these highly upvoted posts claiming AI will replace all programmers in 5 years.
Right, or telling computer science students to just drop out because the skill is dead.
Which is wild.
Uh-huh.
But if you are listening to this and feeling anxious, your feelings are completely valid. The technology is shifting at a breakneck pace.
Today's mission for you, our listener, is to figure out if that science fiction is actually the reality. We've grabbed a massive stack of sources today.
Yeah, we've got recent industry research, global developer surveys, and some incredibly heated thought pieces from major tech forums.
We're diving deep into the actual analysis of AI's current capabilities versus the traditional role of software developers.
Our goal for this deep dive is to step away from the hype and the doom scrolling.
Exactly. We want to answer the ultimate question, is coding dead, or is something much deeper happening?
We need to look at the actual mechanics of what AI is doing under the hood, figure out what it fundamentally cannot do, and see how you can position yourself for the future.
Let's start by acknowledging the reality on the ground, because we really can't ignore it. AI is incredibly good at coding right now.
It is shockingly good.
Tools like GitHub Copilot, ChatGPT, Claude, and SAS, they aren't just doing advanced autocorrect anymore.
No, not at all. They are writing entire complex functions from a single prompt.
They're taking messy 10-year-old legacy code and refactoring it. It's essentially gutting the old plumbing of an app and replacing it with clean, modern pipes without breaking the house.
They can even explain complex, highly abstract algorithms back to you in plain English in seconds.
Which is nuts. A total beginner can now sit down and build a working prototype that just a couple of years ago would have required a whole team.
A team of people with years of hard-earned experience, yeah.
Which brings me to the core panic. If I'm looking at this from the outside and I see an AI writing all of this code, debugging the errors, generating the app.
You're wondering, isn't that the whole job?
Yeah. I mean, if the machine is typing the syntax, doesn't that mean it's game over for the programmer?
What's fascinating here is that specific panic reveals the biggest misunderstanding in the entire tech industry.
Oh. How so?
It's a myth we need to completely dismantle right now. Programming is not typing syntax.
But wait, when you picture a programmer in your head, what are they doing? They're sitting in a dark room, wearing a hoodie, typing syntax at light speed.
Sure, the typing looks like the job. It absolutely looks like the job.
Right.
But the code on the screen is merely the output. It's the final mechanical step of a much larger, invisible cognitive process.
Okay.
Think about how large language models, these AI tools, actually work under the hood. They don't think about code the way a human does.
They aren't reasoning through the logic.
Exactly. They are essentially super-powered smartphone autocompletes. They've ingested billions of lines of code from the internet.
So when you give them a prompt, they are mathematically guessing the next most statistically likely piece of text.
Right. It's pattern matching on a massive scale.
So it's seen 1 million login screens, which means it knows statistically what a login screen's code looks like.
Precisely that. But the actual job of a programmer involves deeply understanding complex, messy human problems.
It's about making difficult trade-offs.
Yes, it's designing elegant solutions, thinking in interconnected systems, and most importantly, communicating with human teams to figure out what actually needs to be built in the first place.
And the AI is just generating the text based on patterns.
Exactly. AI doesn't do any of that human problem solving.
Which means when people say AI writes code, so developers are dead, they are treating the typing part as if it were the entire profession.
Yes.
They are confusing the pen for the novelist.
That is a great way to put it. Many senior engineers actually spend very little of their day writing code.
Wait, really?
Oh, yeah. They spend their time thinking, planning, reviewing architecture, and guiding their teams. So when an AI writes code, it is only automating one very specific, narrow slice of the profession.
But even if it's a narrow slice, it's still automating something real, right? We have to look at what exactly AI is replacing.
Definitely.
Because those low-level tasks used to take up a lot of time.
AI is absolutely eating the low-level work. It's taking over the boilerplate coding.
You mean those repetitive, boring setup files you have to write every time you start a new project?
Exactly. And it's building the simple CRUD applications effortlessly.
Just for the listener who might not know, CRUD stands for Create, Read, Update, Delete.
Right, the basic functions.
Basically, those are the digital filing cabinets of the internet. A
Hmm.
to-do list app, a simple customer database. AI can build those in its sleep now.
It's also writing the tedious documentation, doing the basic debugging, and replacing those endless Stack Overflow searches.
So it really is taking away the busy work.
It is. But if we look at the history of technology, this isn't a new phenomenon at all.
How do you mean?
Think about mathematics. When electronic calculators were introduced, they automated manual arithmetic. People panicked, thinking math was dead.
Right, but calculators didn't eliminate mathematicians.
Exactly. They just allowed mathematicians to focus on higher-level algebra and physics instead of, long division.
Or look at coding itself. We used to write code in raw text editors.
Oh, the dark ages.
Right. Then we got integrated development environments, which caught our typos in real time.
Yeah.
Then we got back-end frameworks.
Those massive pre-built libraries.
Exactly. So you didn't have to spend 6 months learning how to wire up a server and a database from absolute scratch every single time.
Every single time one of these tools arrives, the entry-level mechanical work gets automated away. And the baseline of what we consider basic moves up.
So the shift we are seeing right now is just a transition from writing code line by line to describing what you want and guiding the system.
That's it, exactly.
One of our sources uses an incredible analogy here. Before AI, the programmer was the bricklayer.
Placing the bricks one by one.
Right. Your job was literally placing the syntax, making sure the mortar was straight.
Mm-hmm.
But after AI, you're the architect.
You're directing a crew of machines that are placing the bricks for you.
Or think of it like a professional kitchen. You are no longer the junior prep cook spending 4 hours dicing onions.
The AI is your lightning-fast sous chef handling all the repetitive chopping.
Yes, and you are the executive chef. You're designing the menu, pairing the flavors, and making sure the food actually tastes good when it hits the table.
I love that. The AI chops the onions, you design the menu.
But wait, if AI takes over all the simple bricklaying or, all the onion chopping.
How did a junior ever learn the trade?
Exactly. You only become a master architect by laying those bricks first. You only become the executive chef by chopping a million onions.
And that brings us to a really intense dynamic in our sources, the impact of this on junior developers versus senior developers.
Here's where it gets really interesting.
It is the most acute pain point in the industry right now. The risk for junior developers is immense.
Because traditionally the software industry operates on a sort of apprenticeship model, right?
Exactly. A junior gets hired, and they are assigned the easy tickets. They fix small bugs, update a button color, write basic tests.
And that repetitive work is how they slowly learn the massive, complex code base of the company.
The AI can do all those easy tickets in 3 seconds.
And it doesn't ask for health insurance or a 401k.
Which is huge. So from a company's perspective, the financial calculation changes overnight.
Executives are looking at their budgets and asking, why would we hire 3 junior developers when we can buy an enterprise AI subscription for 1 senior developer?
Right, and together that one senior and the AI can produce more output than the whole team.
That is brutal. So it's not the end of programming, but it is the absolute end of easy entry into programming.
The traditional stepping stones are basically being pulled out from under the next generation.
Meanwhile, on the other end of the spectrum, senior developers are experiencing massive amplification.
Because a senior dev already knows how to do system design, they already understand how the pieces fit together.
So AI just gives them super speed. It makes them infinitely more productive and valuable.
But there is a flip side to this that is fascinating.
Right, while the traditional junior developer path is getting walled off, a completely different door is blowing wide open.
It is getting infinitely easier for someone completely outside of the tech industry to build software.
We are witnessing the true democratization of building.
Think about it. A graphic designer, a marketing manager, an entrepreneur with a wild idea.
They don't need to spend months memorizing syntax or fighting with server configurations anymore.
No, they can just use an AI assistant to speak their idea into existence.
The barrier to bringing an idea to life has essentially vanished. If you can clearly articulate a problem and logically step through a solution in English, the AI handles the translation into code.
Which is incredible for innovation.
We're going to see an explosion of niche products and weird, highly specific apps that simply wouldn't have been profitable to pay an engineering team to build the old way.
But for you, the listener, if you are building a career in tech, this means your competition just multiplied by 1,000.
You aren't just competing with other computer science grads anymore. You are competing with the marketing manager who has a great idea and a Claude subscription.
And that intense competition is exactly why we need to identify the firewall.
Right. With everyone suddenly possessing the ability to generate code on demand, we have to look critically at the machine itself.
Where does AI's capability actually stop? What are its fundamental blind spots?
Surely there's a wall it hits, right? The sources highlight some massive gaps, starting with deep understanding.
This raises an important question about how these models actually function. We touched on this with the autocomplete concept, but it's crucial to internalize.
Right.
AI does not truly understand the system it is building. It is a highly advanced prediction engine.
It predicts text based on training data, but it doesn't possess a conceptual model of the architecture.
Exactly. If you ask it to build a bridge, it knows what words are usually associated with bridges, but it doesn't understand gravity.
Wow, yeah. It also completely lacks context awareness. AI is trapped inside the chat window.
It is generally only looking at the specific prompt in front of it. It misses the messy human reality of the bigger picture.
It doesn't know the long-term business logic of your company, or the fact that changing this one piece of code is going to break the marketing department's workflow in 6 months.
Because that context lives in human brains. It lives in Slack messages, in messy company meetings, in unwritten rules.
And AI obviously doesn't have access to that.
Right, and because it lacks that context, it completely fails at creative problem solving in novel situations.
AI is phenomenal at replicating known patterns, but if you give it ambiguous requirements, unclear goals, or a problem that has never been solved before,
it just falls apart.
let me throw an analogy at you to test this. Let's say I ask an AI to build a really complex billing system for a hospital.
Okay, high-stakes system.
Right. It might write the database connections beautifully. It might wire up the APIs perfectly, meaning those digital handshakes that let the hospital securely share data with the insurance company.
It can definitely build a great user interface for that, sure.
But the AI has absolutely no idea why a specific local medical privacy regulation matters.
It has no real-world awareness.
And more importantly, if that billing system crashes and patient data is leaked to the dark web, I can't exactly subpoena the AI. I can't fire the AI.
Which brings us to the ultimate firewall accountability. The concept of ownership in the real world.
Humans have to take the fall.
Exactly. AI cannot take responsibility. It cannot maintain a system long-term, monitor it at 3 a.m., and navigate the real-world legal and financial consequences of a failure.
Humans are required to provide the context, navigate the ambiguity, and bear the ultimate responsibility.
That is a role a statistical prediction engine inherently cannot fill.
And there's another technical blind spot we have to mention: hallucinations.
Oh, absolutely. Because the AI is just mathematically predicting the next word, it will sometimes confidently invent a software library or a function that simply does not exist in reality.
Purely because it looks statistically correct.
That is a hallucination. It will confidently hand you broken, completely fabricated code and tell you it works perfectly.
Which means if you don't know how to read the code it gives you, you are flying blind into a mountain.
You really are.
So knowing all of this, knowing that AI is an incredible sous chef, but a terrible executive chef, knowing that the junior path is shifting and knowing it hallucinates, we have to map out a survival guide.
We do. How do you adapt and actually thrive in this new landscape?
The central thesis from all the analysis is clear. The future is not AI replacing programmers.
It is programmers who use AI replacing programmers who refuse to use AI.
It's like trying to outrun a race car on foot. You can train all you want, you can buy the best running shoes, but you are gonna lose.
The solution isn't to practice running faster. It's to learn how to drive the car.
Exactly. AI is a multiplier, not a replacement. So if you are charting your career course right now, there are certain things you must explicitly stop focusing on.
The sources are unanimous on what not to learn. Do not waste your time rote memorizing syntax.
You don't need to memorize every command in Python.
Right. Do not pride yourself on writing absolutely everything from scratch just to prove you can.
And absolutely do not try to compete with AI on typing speed. You will lose that race every single time.
Instead, you must focus your energy entirely on the architect skills. The first and most vital skill is breaking down complex problems.
Because AI is terrible at big, messy, ambiguous problems.
Exactly. You need to be the human who takes a massive, confusing business request, breaks it down into small, highly logical, digestible pieces, and then feeds those pieces to the AI.
You also need to focus heavily on system design. This means zooming out.
You need to understand how the database talks to the server, how the security protocols wrap around the APIs,
How the whole digital ecosystem functions together. The AI can build the individual Lego blocks, but you need to know how to snap them together to build the spaceship.
and crucially, debugging. Because of those hallucinations we talked about, the AI will make subtle, dangerous mistakes.
It will introduce security vulnerabilities that look perfectly fine to the untrained eye.
You must develop the critical thinking skills to read code you didn't write, catch those mistakes, and validate the output.
It almost feels less like being a traditional engineer, more like being a manager.
It really does. You are directing a team of very fast, very confident, but occasionally clueless digital interns.
Which means your communication skills are suddenly your most valuable asset. You have to be able to explain ideas clearly, not just to human stakeholders, but to the AI itself through highly effective prompting.
And wrapping all of that together is curiosity and adaptability. The harsh truth of this industry is that developers who refuse to adapt will become obsolete.
If they cling to the old manual methods and view AI as just a passing fad, they're in trouble. But let's be real, that has always been true in tech. If you stubbornly refused to move past punch cards in the 1970s, you became obsolete.
If you refused to adopt cloud computing 10 years ago, you got left behind.
AI is just accelerating the timeline of evolution.
The winning developer of the future is a hybrid. They are part engineer, part systems thinker, part AI operator, and part business strategist.
They don't just ask, how do I write this code? They ask, what is the core problem we are actually trying to solve?
Exactly.
So what does this all mean? We started this deep dive with a very specific, very anxious question, pulled straight from the panic of the tech forums. Are developers becoming obsolete?
And based on everything we've analyzed, the historical precedents, the shifting of tasks, the absolute blind spots of the technology, the answer is a definitive no.
Developers are not becoming obsolete, but the definition of what it means to be a developer is fundamentally, permanently changing.
It's no longer about how well you type syntax into a blank screen.
It's about how well you solve human problems using the most powerful tools ever created.
Every major technological disruption creates fear and uncertainty. That is natural. But it also creates unprecedented, mind-boggling opportunity.
Right now, today, because of these AI tools, one single person can build, launch, and scale a product that used to require a well-funded engineering team.
That isn't the death of programming. That is a superpower.
Which leaves us with a truly fascinating, slightly wild thought to end on. We know AI handles the syntax.
And we know it lowers the barrier so anyone can build.
Right. But if AI gives one person the output of 10 engineers, how long until we see the first billion-dollar tech company run by just one single person?
Wow.
Just one visionary acting as the ultimate architect, orchestrating a massive symphony of AI agents. And more importantly, could that person be you?
That is a profound thought. The future doesn't belong to the AI, it belongs to the people who understand how to guide it.
Exactly. If you found this deep dive helpful, please share it with anyone you know who is studying computer science, learning to code, or anyone who is feeling that heavy anxiety about the future of their career in tech.
Because that blinking cursor isn't a threat anymore, it's just waiting for your instructions.
Thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you on the next one.